Our next question comes from @question0786, perfect handle for question asking, I guess. Their question is, do you think there will ever come a time where Fox News will eventually just say to themselves, screw it, and start criticizing Trump in front of their Trump-supporting viewers without fearing Trump's backlash? No, I don't. I don't think they will ever hit that point. Fox News, even during the Bush administration, okay, when it was pretty obvious this administration was committing war crimes by torturing detainees, when all those pictures from Abu Ghraib came out, they defended it. They were out there telling us that this was okay, even though it was an obvious violation of international treaties and international laws, and we were 100% without question committing war crimes. They still defended it, trying to say, but it doesn't matter because they're the bad guys. Oh, waterboarding's not that bad. It's not even really torture. So will they ever hit that point with Donald Trump where they finally say, wow, this guy's a nut job. He's not very smart. He's not very good at being president. He wasn't a good businessman. We were wrong about it all. It's not going to happen. Even if we get the special prosecutor's report and it proves without a doubt that Donald Trump committed a conspiracy to defraud the people of the United States and undermine our electoral process, even if there's irrefutable evidence, Fox News is going to start saying, well, isn't that really no big deal? If they impeach Donald Trump, that's going to embolden Fox News. They're going to go out there and they will be talking about that till the end of time. They're going to talk about how the Democrats only did it as a political move. They were so anti-Trump, suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, that they had to impeach him because he was hurting their feelings. That is exactly what this network is going to say. I don't see a turnaround point. I don't think there's anything Donald Trump could do that would make these Republicans turn on him at Fox News. He could probably walk into the Fox News, to take a variation of his own speech he gave during the campaign. He could walk into Fox News, punch Steve Doocy in the face, and Steve Doocy would then probably apologize for having such a punchable face. That's how beholden they are to him. That's how much they're willing to defend him. There's nothing this man can do to make them turn on him. So our option is to simply turn them off. That is the best way to fight back against Fox News. They're 100% dependent upon viewers. You starve them of that viewership, you starve them of their life as a network. So I don't waste too much time worrying about what the crazies over there at Fox News say. Oh, their highest rated host can pull in 2 million viewers a night. Yeah, it's a lot, especially compared to the other folks. But there's 330 million people in this country. 2 million a night really isn't influencing as many as they like to think that they're influencing. Again, if you have a question for us, please send it using the hashtag AskROF. You can also send it to us on Twitter at Ring of Fire Radio, or you can send it to me at Farron Balanced. Now, in answering that question, I hit on the Mueller investigation. You know, no matter what they find, Fox News is always going to try to find a way to act like it's not a big deal. Well, Donald Trump right now, this week in fact, has entered phase 2 of his attacks on the special prosecutor and the investigation. On Monday of this week, Donald Trump, his administration, they announced that they were going to declassify all of the information related to the FISA warrant for surveillance on Carter Page, and they were going to release it to the public. In addition to that Carter Page FISA information, they also decided they were going to release the text messages between Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, which have no bearing on anything at all, but they're going to release them. And they're going to release the interviews conducted by Bruce Ohr, because Bruce Ohr is now Donald Trump's favorite target in the Department of Justice, and so he wants to undermine, demean, and discredit that guy as well. With regards to the Carter Page thing, what they're hoping to prove with the release of these documents is that the entire investigation was based on what they call the discredited dossier, and therefore the entire Mueller investigation is null and void. Big witch hunt, illegally started, nothing to see here. Let's move on. Let's fire Robert Mueller. And while we're at it, most likely fire Jeff Sessions as well. Here's the problem they have with that. First and foremost, we learned from the Devin Nunes memo itself that the investigation, the surveillance on Carter Page, was not started based on anything in that Steele dossier. That was not the reasoning used. That was not the argument made to the FISA court that surveillance needed to be placed on Carter Page. That's a lie. So if the administration wants to release that, aside from it being a major national security problem for them, it's not going to say what they think it's going to say. Furthermore, while we're mentioning the dossier, can anybody tell me, maybe tweet it to me, perhaps email it to me, any piece of the dossier that's been proven false? Because right now you can't. So even though we know for a fact that this investigation, the surveillance, the warrants, all that, none of it was started because of the dossier, even if it had been started because of the dossier, none of it's been proven false. In fact, most of it at this point has actually been proven true. So what's the problem? Does it matter who paid for it? Because it was first started, as we all know, by the Washington Free Beacon, a conservative outlet. Then it was paid for by the Democratic Party, actually Hillary Clinton's law firm. Then, after they stopped paying for it, it was self-financed. So there's 3 different independent groups that funded it, but none of the information has been proven false. So why does it matter if it was based on that or not, even though it wasn't? But to kind of hit back on the national security issue, this is something a lot of people have been saying, is the fact that if you release these FISA warrants and the information that was given to the FISA court, it's going to reveal a lot of sources, undercover sources within the Department of Justice, the independent sources overseas, people who've risked their lives to give this information. So yeah, you could be looking at a very intense national security problem in that regard. My solution to that is redact the names, make sure you don't release who did what, but I'm all for actually releasing the information to the world. Let them understand that you've been lying from day one, because what's come out from it so far proves you wrong. So it's not going to end the way you think it is with that. But here's where they're trying to get us, is with the text messages from Page and Strzok. That is the meat that they want us to see, and that is something we have no business seeing whatsoever. They're going to use those text messages to prove that this entire investigation has been politically motivated and is therefore void. That nothing they do matters because they were politically motivated. Again, from the Nunes memo, we know that's not true. We know that's not the case. But the brain-dead MAGA hat-wearing crowd doesn't understand that, and they will never accept that. They want to see these juicy text messages and find out what's been going on. It's not going to reveal what they think it's going to reveal. They're hoping it's going to be enough to convince enough people that Robert Mueller should be fired and that Jeff Sessions should be fired. But again, probably not going to work out the way that they think it is. Bruce Ohr, who's also a target of this, has already been thoroughly vetted. We understand that this guy has not done anything wrong. We know the protocols he went through to give this information to the people who needed to receive it. He did not personally act on any of it. So there's that. But this is all an excuse to further lay the groundwork to end the special prosecutor's investigation. We have to take a break. We'll be right back.